screaming and yelling. 90 going north.
So what I want to tell you that I realize about if a fool would persist in his follies, then he would become wise. He might become wise. He will become wise. I remember the last time I was sick that time, and I realized there was nothing I could do about being sick. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let it work, let it pass through. I'm just going to let it be, right? And then I totally gave up. And I said, I'm all in with this. And I realized when I was sick that I'm going to be like that with everything. I'm just totally all in with everything, right? And so the reason I've been talking about the ego death so much is because when you die from the ego, you realize how foolish you are. Really. You realize, now it ain't easy going through the ego death. I'm telling you, it ain't no easy thing. I'd rather slap my mama than go through an ego death. But in going through it, you realize how foolish and dumb you are, and how connected you are to evil and don't even know it. How you have really, and I'll use myself, really identified with the far you and don't even know it. Every thought, every pain, body pain, and I don't mean like physical pain from an illness or something, but ego, body pain, everything is all evil and it's all foolishness. And when you're going through that death, you start to realize that and you become wiser for it. You become wise because you see the depths of the darkness that we must die from. It ain't no little light thing, oh, I'm dying from the darkness, right? You see clearly of yourself, you could do nothing. There's not one thing you can do of yourself. But you don't see the depths of that until you're dying from it. And you see that you have never, ever been the thoughts. It was never you. You have never been the pain. You have never been the worry. You have never been the fear. You have never been the doubt. The real you have never put another human being over you, made them your hero or your guru or your this. It's the not you that's doing that. But because we're so identified with it, it feels like us. The real us have never had a problem. Not one in life. And Christ came and he made that possible because we are a spirit. So he conquered death from us. He conquered everything. And so when you die from that, and thank God that you have the love of God in you to protect you, because when you're falling within, and you just don't fight back at all, you get little glimpse of what's going on, and it feels like it's over for you, and a little crack happened, then you can see like, wow, that's clear. But we have never been into this. If we really knew and understand, we would never no one can ever stroke our ego. No one can ever make us feel good or bad. No one can make us think anything. But we're so identified with that. And we would never try to do anything about our spiritual self. You know, we get up and go to work and eat and that kind of stuff, but that's just practical thinking, doing, right? But when you are dying from that, it ain't easy, but the deeper you go into that hell, the more you learn from it. And the more, because the light is causing you, it's protecting you through the hell. It doesn't feel like it, right? But it's protecting you, but it's also teaching you and allowing you to see that it was never you. And so the folly is the fool that think that it's him or her. It never have been us. It's never us. And even with this, another thing that happens when you're dying from the ego, it erases all ideas, all imaginations. It erases that from you. And it never was you anyway, But it brings you out of that even more so. And it'll blow your mind to think that I thought I was my imagination. Or I thought I was this, or I thought I was that. I used to think that I was judging myself for this or that, right? And it was never you judging. We have never had anything to do with anything. Even the idea about Christ, when you think of Christ, I used to think of Christ as someone that you could never obtain. You can never become like. I used to be afraid to even think of myself as being like Christ because they made him so big and so beyond until to imagine that you could be like Christ would be almost like a sin. Sin would make you think, oh, you think you God, right? That's not true. The same spirit that's in Christ is in us. It really is. But because we so identify with the spirit of darkness, we don't recognize the spirit of Christ. But when you read the Bible now, or watch some of those little, especially older movies about Christ, you're going to see that, you're going to see, wow, you're going to see it differently now. You're going to see the real deal instead of from the illusion of the imagination. We are not, and another thing about dying, and then I'll take your hand, when the food is dying from the ego, it's crazy to die from the ego. Really, to really do it, because Satan wants you to pick up something. He wants you to turn the TV on. He wants you to eat. He wants you to drink. He wants you to deny it. He does not want to die. And that's what Christ did on Friday. Well, he did a long time on Friday ago, not last Friday. We were just pretending it was last Friday. But he went to hell and conquered death so that we can go to hell and conquer death. We can conquer death. And then we live, and the way you drop your body is where you go, where you hang out at after that. But if you drop this body in the ego, you're going to stay there because you would not have conquered death. To die from the ego and conquering death. And he made it possible. And again, the pain that you're going to feel and the overwhelming thoughts and the fear and all that, that's not you either. And as you're dying, you're going to see it's not you. You will rise up. Now, I haven't risen up and come all the way up there yet, but I know now to go through the death thing. Matter of fact, I made up my mind, whatever's going to happen. It was like what somebody was saying, there's nothing we can do anyway. There's nothing I can do. And so foolishly, I've been thinking I can do something, protecting not me, and you can't. It's not you. It's really not you. It's like you are here, and the not you is here, and you identify with this instead of above. And in there, everything is provided, the light, take no worries, no thought, no nothing. But the hardest thing, it's easy to say, oh, I'm an observer. Oh, I observe. But when the rubber meets the road, it's a different story. Because you literally think that you are being hurt. You think you're being embarrassed. You think that someone assaulted you. You think they hurt your feelings. You think this, and it's all lies. They're not hurting you at all. It's amazing. But you got to die from it. You got to go deep down in hell. You got to let it all fall. And you will rise. That make a little sense? You will become wise of how dumb you were thinking that all that other stuff was you. Thinking that you can fight this spiritual battle. When I say that it's a spiritual battle between right and wrong, there's nothing we can do about it. I didn't even understand the depths of it until when I got sick and I decided I'm all in. Whatever's going to happen. I didn't understand the depths of it until the death part began. I knew I didn't have any anger because he took that away. And I didn't realize how much power that is that we have his help now when you overcome it. Because anyone that has anger has the heart of Satan, a wicked heart. And wickedness can defeat wickedness. Evil hate the light, and the light hate evil. So you need the light to fight the darkness. You can't fight on your own. That's why he changes the heart first. And now you have the power. He give us. That's why Christ said, no, whatever he did, we can do it too, and greater. And you just can't believe that with the intellect and think it's going to work. You must see it. You must be of the same spirit Christ is of. And we could be of that. That same spirit that's in him is in us. The same spirit that raised Christ from the dead is in us. It really is. But the not you gotta die. Let me take here, then I take your hand and then. So the fool will be made wise if you let yourself die. You gotta go through it. And you gotta go through it alone. No one can help you. There's not one person on earth can help you. You gotta go through it alone by yourself.
Like 90 going north, 90 going north. Running around like 90 going north. It's so amazing to see it, folks. Insane people screaming and yelling like 90 going north, like 90 going north, 90 going north. Running around like 90 going north. It's so amazing to see it, folks. Insane people screaming and yelling like 90 going north.